trust him?
Our system is rigged. Anyone who challenges their control is deemed a sexist, a racist, a xenophobe, and morally deformed.
Conspiracy theories are at the heart of this American presidential election.
This is a conspiracy against you, the American people.
Since the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal, many Americans have been deeply suspicious of their rulers.
History is a set of lies agreed upon. The government rarely tells you the truth, and they never tell you the whole truth.
Americans are always looking for the conspiracy behind the facts. We were really taught to do that in Vietnam. It's just a complete deception in which 58,000 Americans were killed.
Donald Trump has made his political career pushing conspiracies. He's alleged that President Obama could be a foreign imposter.
The people that went to school with him, they don't even know, they never saw him. They don't know who he is. Crazy.
It's the biggest fraud in maybe the history of the world.
All right, thank you, and God bless America.
He suggested that the father of one of his rivals was linked to the assassination of JFK.
There's a picture of him and crazy Lee Harvey Oswald.
Ted Cruz's father linked to JFK assassination. What's wrong about that?
This is nuts.
Now he faces an opponent with her own scandal-ridden past.
You delete 33,000 emails.
Her instincts are to cover up, and the laws are for the little people.
Not to mention the sins of her husband.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Extraordinary personal and bitter attacks have defined this election.
She was a total enabler. She would go after these women and destroy their lives.
Donald thinks belittling women makes him bigger.
In the face of so many conspiracies, what can American voters really believe?
One thing I can promise you this. I will always tell you the truth.
Prepared to take the oath, Senator?
I am.
In January 2009, Barack Obama was sworn into office as America's first ever black president.
That I will...
Barack Hussein Obama is not the most common name in the United States. Born to a white Kansan woman and a Kenyan African father, raised by his grandparents in Hawaii. All of those things scream exotic.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Obama became the center of a conspiracy theory. The claim that he was born outside the US and was not entitled to be president. In 2011, the so-called birther conspiracy received a massive boost.
Our current president came out of nowhere. The people that went to school with him, they don't even know, they never saw him. They don't know who he is. Crazy.
He saw this as an opportunity, he plucked it. He used that to sort of pole vault himself into a tete-a-tete with the President of the United States.
When we did polling in the spring of 2011, we saw that a great number of those people who felt that President Obama was not a real American went to Mr. Trump because he was very openly embracing this theory that legitimized it for those people.
I think that Trump has an ability, because of his stature, because of his name identification, and the fact that he's so well known, to take issues that are not in the mainstream and inject them into the mainstream.
In response, Obama called a White House press conference to put an end to the birthers conspiracy once and for all.
We do not have time for this kind of silliness. We got better stuff to do.
he released a copy of his full birth certificate, showing that he was born in the US state of Hawaii in 1961.
I am really honored, frankly, to have played such a big role in hopefully getting rid of this issue.
Always optimistic. Clearly, Donald Trump was driving Obama crazy. Trump was able to elevate the issue to the level that Obama felt compelled to respond. To me, that shows that Trump had an enormous impact.
My fellow Americans.
But Obama was about to get his revenge. 3 days after the release of his certificate, he ridiculed Trump in a speech to the White House press corps.
No one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? Well handled, sir.
We thought that that would put it to bed, and for the vast majority of the American people, it did put it to bed. But not for Donald Trump, because he was using it as a means to build support for his presidential run.
If Obama thought the release of his birth certificate would kill the conspiracy, he was about to get a shock. His certificate shows Barack Hussein Obama II was born here at Kapiolani Maternity and Gynecological Hospital in Honolulu. But within days, it was labeled a fake. And leading the charge was the recently humiliated property tycoon and reality TV star, Donald Trump.
He is a citizen. He produced that long-form birth certificate.
Well, a lot of people don't agree with you, and a lot of people feel it wasn't a proper certificate.
Orly Tates is a Californian dentist, originally from Moldova, and a leading light in the birther movement. She believes she found a mistake in how Obama's father's race was recorded and thinks it indicates forgery.
This is so bad. It's like it's done by a retarded 5-year-old. In those years, in 1961, when they were describing races on birth certificate, they would put white, Asian, or Negro, or black. In Barack Obama's alleged birth certificate on this piece of garbage, they're saying African. Well, they didn't use the word African. This is not linguistics of 1961 that was created today using the wording of today.
As Orly Tates prepared to legally challenge the authenticity of the birth certificate, she was joined by Paul Iry, who has over 50 years' experience in typesetting.
It's the biggest fraud in maybe the history of the world.
He says there is evidence that the certificate was forged on a computer. Here, black letters are printed on paper that is solid green. But around the letters are white, halo-like outlines.
White on a back document that is printed on the green paper? How did the green go away? It can't. We see white, and the printer doesn't print white. White can't show up on that document. And that is proof by itself, beyond a question.
Numerous legal challenges over the birth certificate have all been thrown out. But the birthers are not giving up.
I've been accused of being wacko. I don't present evidence to people that's a lie. I concoct it. Look, I'm a Christian. I don't lie. I'm known for that.
Donald Trump claimed he was so concerned that he was also investigating Obama's birth certificate.
Was it a birth certificate? You tell me. You know, some people say that was not his birth certificate. So maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
So just how credible is the evidence that the certificate is a fake? Ivan Zatkovich is a court-recognized technology witness who has forensically examined the halo effect. He separated the digital file released by the White House into 9 different layers. From this, he deduced it was a scan of the original birth certificate, produced using OCR, an optical character recognition program.
One of the things that OCR software does to enhance the edges is to create contrast enhancement. Contrast enhancement has multiple effects. It will make the black text blacker. It will make the background slightly lighter, sometimes causing what's called a halo effect. Purely based on the evidence of that PDF itself, I would be probably 80 to 95% confident that the layers were produced by simple contrast enhancement and OCR. The theories of the forgeries are easy to disprove.
President Obama is the least transparent president in the history of this country. If he gives his passport applications and records, I will give to a charity of his choice a check immediately for $5 million.
It doesn't matter whether you're black or white or Hispanic or Asian.
Obama didn't take Trump up on his offer and went on to get re-elected in 2012.
Gay or straight, you can make it here in America if you're willing to try.
A year later, in 2013, the birther conspiracy would take another extraordinary twist. Minutes after this Cessna Grand Caravan plane took off from a Hawaiian island, its single engine failed.
Looking outside, you know, can I make it to land? No, there's no way. Okay, prepare for ditching.
All 8 passengers and the pilot struggled to stay afloat for almost 2 hours before rescue.
Everybody okay?
Later, it was announced that 1 passenger had died. Loretta Fuddy was the Hawaiian health official who had authenticated Barack Obama's birth certificate.
I had no idea who Loretta Fuddy was. None. And somebody told me, he says, oh, she's the one that signed Obama's birth certificate. And I go, oh, here we go. The village idiots are going to be coming out in force. Sure enough.
Shortly after Donald Trump heard the news, he took to Twitter and wrote, "How amazing. The state health director who verified copies of Obama's birth certificate died in plane crash today. All others lived."
The director of health who had the birth certificate died today and everybody else lived. What does that mean?
Neil Abercrombie appointed Loretta Fuddy while he was the governor of Hawaii.
The implication of that tweet is that she's dead and that somehow is connected to the President of the United States in some ill-conceived and misbegotten attempt to prove where he was born. That is it goes beyond an individual sickness.
An allegation was made that Loretta Fuddy, as Director of Health, took a bribe to lie and say that Obama's birth certificate